Hey guys, welcome to another KBB Vlogs. So, it is Thursday, March 31st, and I just got out of a I just got home a few hours ago from a test, and it went very well. So, happy weekend for me. If you haven't heard yet, you've probably been really busy or hiding under a rock or farming uh, Calypso way too much, but King Zal has been really kind enough, specifically Professor Greyrose, has decided to start this little last minute kind of event thing called the Mount Giveaway. And basically, a lot of the active official fan sites, with the Pet Gnome Project included, are giving away 15 mounts. Now, each fan site has a different mount. So, if you're looking, you can look on wizard101.com, check out the I think there's a special link on there. Actually, if you even just log into Wizard 101 right now and look at the client, there should be an announcement for that. It'll take you to a special page, and it lists all the different fan sites and all the different mounts that are being given away. So, I mean, you can save yourself hundreds of thousands of gold through this, or even just pure crowns. There's pure crown mounts that are being given, and these are all permanent. So you're never going to lose them. There's no time limit on it. You have to keep it forever. So that's really. I mean, I wish they had this back then, because I did. I've been gifted some mounts before. I had to buy my own, and this giveaway would have been really awesome, especially with the amount of official fan sites that are doing this. Times 15 of the same mount. So, yeah, if you're looking for a quick ride for any of your alts, or if you're just starting out, definitely check it out. It is worth your time. And I know each fan site will have like a different contest. Pet Gnome Project, I've started releasing some hints, and in about an hour from recording this, I will be releasing the third hint on there. So there's going to be a riddle released tomorrow, and what you have to do is find out what the 5 talents are, because there will be a 10-line riddle, and there will be a pair of lines that relates to just one ability, pet ability. So it can be a talent, it can be a derby skill, one of those. And then we're going to give out 3 proud lions to the first 3 people who can solve it correctly, who have made their submissions. And then the next day we're going to do a different contest. So it'll be a different puzzle every day, so at least everyone has a chance. And I'm going to make it so then you only can enter once within our contest. I mean, if you want to, I would say it's okay to sign up for the Pet Gnome Project's contest, to do our giveaway, and to do Friendly's giveaway all at the same time. I mean, that's acceptable, but you can't try to get 2 lions. I mean, it'd be a really nice gesture for you to get it for a family member, but have that family member register or sign up. And I think some other fan sites are going to be the same way, where they're going to try to give as many people the same chance to win a specific mount. So check that out when you can. Now, I've got this picture up, and you're probably looking at it and going, "Ooh, what the heck is this?" Well, perfect catch. And if this is your first time watching KBB or Battleblood, you have no idea what this picture is about. But you see 4 players, and you figure, well, they're all friends, which is true. But more specifically, we're actually a PvP team. And so when I post this little wallpaper, which Autumnal Dusk was really kind, and to say, like, you could make this into a mouse pad, and really like the epicness of this, and got a lot of comments on this picture. And then Sierra Star Song, my good Pet Gnome teammate, asked me on Twitter, I believe, what, and wanted to pose this as a question for Ravenwood Radio. What's the story behind Perfect Catch? At least in part of our name. And at the time, this is about like Monday or Tuesday of this week, and because I had the test this Thursday, I had and there was Ravenwood Radio on Wednesday, and I wanted to get the transcription out for the very last show out before last night's show. Um, I had a lot of I had a lot of other priorities to take care of and responsibilities. So perfect catch. A lot of people have been wondering about, what's up with this name? You guys aren't named uh, the intimidating rainbow or some other obvious name. This perfect catch has a ring to it, and it's a little obscure. It's a little mysterious, and I definitely chose it to ensure that it did have that kind of mystery to it. That you had to kind of ask us, if you were really interested in our history or in the name, that I'd have that there'd be a solid answer for it. And so, perfect catch. Let's break this up in two words. Now, perfect, you don't want to take too literally. And this falls in line with my philosophy that everyone's perspective is different. So perfect to one person is not going to be perfect to another. I really don't think that there's a perfect standard that everyone share. That there's no universal definition because, well, we all have different backgrounds and religion, and so when you get really specific situations, you're going to have some gray areas. You're not going to be able to say, well, this is always going to be defined as perfect for me or so. I mean, we're always changing. We're never the same the very next day. And so just that philosophy behind that word perfect itself kind of ties into our team a bit. We do change up our decks almost all the time. Our cards never stay the same, so we can't really write out a guide for how perfect catch functions, or I mean, we're always taking our cards and adding new ones in and testing this and testing that, trying to see, hey, can we do something differently that makes us um, unique in a way? We're not just based on one strategy that narrows our weaknesses into, if you have a weakness, and a great analogy to this is like, look at the Death Star in Star Wars. I mean, if they've got this little tunnel, that's the weak point. And if any kind of shot gets fired into this, I mean, I imagine some kind of like flying space debris happening to enter this and destroy it. Um, no matter how large a team can be, it will always have some kind of weakness. So we're always changing and evolving and developing our decks differently each day. So then our weak points kind of change and shift around. So if you think about it, it's kind of like a shapeshifter who can move his heart around. And yeah, this is kind of like stolen from the from Heroes, the series, which unfortunately was canceled. But yeah, they were kind of digressing a bit, and the material was failing a bit. But yeah, this is actually adapted from the idea of the character Sylar, who can shapeshift, and eventually he got to the point where he could move his heart to a different portion of his body. So when people were trying to like kill him and aim for where the heart normally is, it did not kill him, and that was because he could change up his anatomy when he acquired that skill. So that's kind of what perfect catch refers to a bit in terms of functioning as a team, and it's that we're always playing together. We're always the four same people, but the catch is we're not using the same decks all the time. We're not using the same spells. So the perfect catch you see in each video, yeah, we're the same players, but our decks, no, different story there. Um, so that's one breakdown of it. Another layer of perfect catch is, well, the word catch itself, as defined in my example just now, has a bunch of it has a lot of significance, actually, a lot of different situations or definitions, actually. And I've told you one. It refers to functionality. Perfect catch also refers to the pets that we have, and I can safely say we were one of the very first teams to develop the double resist sprightly defender pigs. well, maybe even the double resist sprightly pets, or maybe even the first team to bring in 4 people with sprightly pets, and because everyone was freaking out. All of our opponents for the first 2 to 3, I want to say months, were shocked when our pets were healing us out of order. If we would go first, and the pet skips their team just to heal one of our members and then goes straight back to their team, we were called cheaters, we were called hackers, sometimes even speculated as if we were King's or related to them and therefore had special benefits. We talk to them sometimes, but they don't directly help us in any way. I mean, they treat us basically the same kind of way that they treat everyone else. So, as kind of like customers, but also, as players. So, even with all these accusations and all that criticism, we stuck in there with each other. We had this mutual understanding and this mutual identity. As Perfect Catch, we were not 4 separate players with the same pets and the same goal of wanting to win. We were a single team. We had this really, really strong. We have this really, really strong bond. And so with our pets, I mean, it was about making sure that we all had double resist and sprightly on our pigs. The reason why we chose a defender pig is because it allows us to heal any teammate in time of need for any amount of pip. So, for example, let's say that our life player is down to about 100 HP, and the other side has someone who can cast a meteor, and meteor does go off. Well, going second, if any of us tosses our life player that pig to revive her, I mean, for any amount of pips, that we could use 7 pips, sure, on a Stormlord or a Frost Giant or a Nova, but that's not going to save our teammate from healing the rest of us, who can spend 7 pips of hers to make sure our team does not fall as quickly. So defender pigs were chosen for its innate card, the Dryad. Once we had that model, I mean, it was just about spreading that model, and I think I was the only one at the time to have it, so we had to spread it amongst all of us. So there were a lot of hatching attempts. Second part, getting the right talent on there. Months and months and hours of farming Coven at the time. This is all pre-Celestia. So we didn't have the benefit of Calypso or Stormriven. A bunch of Raven farming, some Wayfinder, using the Wayfinder gear trick to help us out and boost our income and whatnot. Just literally over 1,000,000 gold. I want to say maybe 1.5 million, maybe a lot more than that, because we're still trying to optimize our pets. But at least 1,000,000 gold between the 4 of us were invested in hatching, feeding, raising our pets. So it was the first few months. The very beginning of Perfect Catch was a very frustrating one. Exclaimed from someone, I had 3 of the 4 talents that I needed. Or I spent my crowns and mega snacks, believing that this is the pet because it has 3 out of 4, and then the 4th talent was a fail. So we had a lot of instances of that, and trying to get this pet with different schedules of ours, different backgrounds, different values, and different perspectives. I felt like there was a time where this team could not. I mean, this would have to be a 1v1 thing, and we would have to wait months and months before all 4 of us would have our pets. But we never gave up on each other. So that's another aspect of this team that I'm really, really proud of. I mean, Missy got her pet first. I think she was the first out of us, but she didn't get on the Defender Pig. She actually got it on the Deadly Ninja Pig. So it wasn't even the right model in the first place. And then I think Ronan was the second to actually get the double resist sprightly on a Defender Pig. Then came me, and finally Fallon got her pig. But it was a very, very difficult process. And I honestly felt like Michelle might have just wanted to quit at some point, but no. Eventually we got that, and finally all 4 of us, with Ronan, Missy, who is also Scarlet Deathblood, or Fallon, and I, finally got our pets. We finally had double resist on every single pet. It was the most overjoyous moment of our lives. Well, our wizard lives, that is. This is ecstatic for our wizards, for our gaming lifestyle. So, we were just so excited. Took a lot of work, and we made this pact to not spread the genes anywhere. Do not let this get out. Let's work with these pets. Let's be this team, this PvP team with Sprightlies and Double Resist, the only ones out there. And it's kind of like a little niche thing that we had to belong to, kind of. And then along came Cassandra Dragonheart, and this is the most awesome thing because, there was something about her. It's like I knew she was starting to enjoy PvP, starting to understand the concepts of it, taking up 1v1 as a life player, which is a really difficult task considering that your matches are at least an hour long each time. Trying to work up her arena gear, which she succeeded in. So I was impressed by that. She detested PvP at first, but really, really got into it, succeeded, applied everything, and I figured, hey, I want to further your interest in PvP a lot more. I'm gonna hatch this pet with you, but please, please, please do not spread it. She pretty much kept her word, and eventually became part of a fifth member when there were like three of us, and we were waiting for a fourth. Just decided, hey, you know what? We could use a life wiz. Let's go ahead. Initially, Ronan could play balance or life interchangeably, and Missy could play storm or balance interchangeably. So we, again, a very flexible team. So with the addition of Cass, it made Ronan was able to play his favorite school a lot more, and that was balance. I mean, that was this one school that he PvP'd the most on, and was very familiar with mechanics, and knew how to anticipate with that class. So he enjoyed playing that too, of course. So there we are. That's how we became 5 players. So once Cass even got her pig to be that way too. So all 5 of us had double resist Sprightly, and that was the idea of not being able to find a better pet than this, being able to achieve our main goal, and because our goal is to create the optimal pet. After achieving this, I mean, that's the perfect essence of it. And these pets, you have to work for it. It's kind of like fishing for the pets in a way. So there you go, perfect catch, referring to our pigs. Now, it also relates on a deeper level, the support that we have for one another. I mean, you can think that we're just 4 different players across 3 different time zones. We have East, Central, and West. 4 different lives. I'm still going to school. I know Ronan's still going to school, also handling a relationship right now, and in dealing with medical school, to be specific, and a job. Cass and Fallon have experienced much more than I and Ronan, so they've got history, they have their families, so you figured, hey, perfect catch is just a get together of 4 different people, but in a way we've created somewhat of a distant family between ourselves. I mean, first of all, we're really supportive and helpful with one another. Again, referring back to the pigs, the extent that we went through to ensure that, hey, this team was possible. Now, the name Perfect Catch didn't actually come out until after 4 out of 5 of us, had our pigs ready for PvP. And I said, hey, you know what? We are Team Perfect Catch. And at the time, it had about 2 distinctive meanings. First, it was the pet. And second, it was my perspective of my friends. Looking at Ronan, Misty, Fallon, and Cass, I honestly could not ask for any more, nor would I ever want any less. So that whole the perfect catch aspect was based on just those 2 ideas, but it's actually evolved in itself, which is even more, I don't want to say irony, but it flows with the whole story, just quite coincidentally. I mean, we were helping each other get our pets. I mean, that's one. Second, if we needed some gold to farm for a pet that, someone else didn't really care about, but someone wanted to obtain it through hatching, we would help each other through that aspect, through that channel. So, I mean, it's really tough just being able to find people to have the same kind of interests that you do on the same level. So if Fallon, and this is demonstrated before we even created the PvP team, Fallon was farming endlessly for 2+ weeks for the Ian the Inspector, and we spent hours and hours there, and every day just disappointment upon disappointment. But we never gave up on each other, and that has never left this team. So that's basically the helpful, supportive part of it. We're really comfortable with each other. For another thing, we're able to share anything with each other. So if it's criticism, a really bad joke, personally to each other, or if it's just if it's taboo, even, we're able to handle that. We can say anything to each other basically, and that, I mean, there's nothing more comfortable than just having that peace and knowing that, hey, these guys are gonna look at me differently no matter what I say, or what I think even. So we also share that understanding of one another. We don't judge. We have a really high tolerance level. So as humans, we're not perfect. We slip up, but we're really accepting and understanding of these mistakes or these flaws. So, and this ties to people and to the realm of PvP. I know there are some teams, and I've talked to, and I want to do a little shout out here to Michelle Shadowcaller. She's explained to me that in the past there have been a lot of pointing fingers, or a lot of stealing credit, as if like one person was responsible for a team's success, or one person was responsible for their loss. Perfect Catch doesn't have any of that. Like, if someone makes a mistake during a match, we all feel as if we've made that mistake. And that one person, whether knowingly or unknowingly, doesn't feel alone in that aspect. They don't feel as if everything's been placed upon their shoulders, whether we've won or lost. We win as a team. If we're doing 2v2, the other two players, we know we've had a part in the successes or the failures of those two people as a team. We represent each other as a single image as well, which is kind of ironic because I've split us up here in 4 different elements, but that's just for aesthetics. But if I could recreate another picture, we'd be a murky brown, just combining all these different elements together, and I mean, it's a great feeling, because I mean, I've done team sports, and I've done team management for other games as well. As far as Guild Wars, Atlantic Online, Rock Band 2, Dota, which is Defense of the Ancients, and that's a really hardcore game. Same with Counter Strike. This team is just it's hard to really describe the feeling that I have for this team, because I haven't felt it with the other ones, and those ones I've been involved in a lot longer, in those teams, and yet I didn't have the same comfort with them. Only had it with this team. So you run into people, and the different types of interactions you can have with them, and the different types of interests are, I mean, the possibilities of having that kind of synchronization are, 1 to the millions. I mean, sure, you can have a shared interest in PvP, but do you have a shared interest in getting each other the right gear? Because not to win more in PvP, not to improve in PvP alone, but to ensure that this person feels whole and satisfied as a player. Does it come up in your mind sometime in a random time of the day that, hey, I need to farm for this person's whatever because they really want that, even though it does not contribute to our friendship. It doesn't, even though this item does not contribute to this team's successes or failures. Just being able to have that connection and that understanding to help out one another. I couldn't ask for any more or less, or I wouldn't want any less. So once again, perfect catch. I mean, I look at my teammates and bam, I just know they're the greatest catch. They're the perfect catch. On another level, there is a negative part of this name, and the sad part is that there is a catch to our team. Most recently, Misty had once again kind of left the game, and I think it might be permanent this time. And those of you who have seen my video for her a while ago know that for so long we've been waiting for her to come back. We knew that she had some priorities to take care of in life, but we were expecting a return, and this time we aren't. So I mean, that's kind of the hard truth, is that we are now down to 4 people, and being represented by that name, Perfect Catch, being able to have 5 players work so well together, now reduced to 4. Just a hard truth of life that, hey, while you're enjoying the game, things happen. So that was a small catch, that this event didn't happen to someone else, but it happened to Misty. So, bam, there's one catch right there. Another is, well, as I mentioned before, we have the different time zones. We have different schedules and different lifestyles. We struggle together. There's a catch of being part of this team, and it's not that we can always PvP every day. We actually do have to wait until the weekends. And I know most recently that a lot of people have been wanting to return to the PvP parties, to improve, to learn from us, to play with us. And for us, we've been longing for more PvP in ranked, because that's where it's strange. That's when where we don't recognize anyone, and where surprises can happen. And it's been through these surprises that we've been able to draw experiences from and bring it to the party attendants and teach them something about PvP and some styles that we've learned. So being part of this team isn't all cut out as it is supposed to be. We have a good time, but there are some conditions that we have to accept. Sometimes 3 of us would be ready to PvP. A 4th person may be on, but if we're ever on, if any 4 of us are on, we're ready to PvP. I'll put it at that. But when it's just 3 of us and we know one person has a chance to make it home but can't, we do have that limitation. We're not as flexible as a head count. Basically, we're not always able to have 4 players ready to be able to do a 4v4 anytime we want, or let alone even tonight. I think even Fallon is sleeping early because it is the night after Ravenwood Radio. So it's just up to me and possibly Cass, or me and Ronan, which is fine. But as of now, I don't think even some of us are ready to PvP at this point. I mean, right now I'm blogging or vlogging, so we have that little catch. We have some background interests that we have to take care of too. But a positive catch is, hey, we succeed together. We've got hatching and our wins. We're able to share in that moment. I know there was a 3v3 that Fallon, Cass, and I participated in. It was ranked against a notorious team, and we ended up winning that one. And when Ronan came on late night, I did a play-by-play for him. We recorded matches, and so I was able to relay every detail to him, and he sat there throughout the entire 45 minutes. It was even sped up to about 2 times or so, because just to offset the sprightly durations and whatnot. But he still sat there for the entire thing, just listening to me commentate and relay the game to him. And he felt as if he won there. He felt as he was there too. So I mean, there's that kind of connection as well. Now, yeah, so as I said, it's only between the 4 of us. We're not necessarily exclusive. It's just that we have this comfort zone with each other. And by that what I mean is you can't replace me for another Ice. You can't replace Fallon for another Storm, Cass for another Life, or Ronan for another Balance. Unless maybe you want to put one of us on a different school. Let's say I play Balance or so. We could do that. But if it's to involve others, now this is not to exclude anyone, not at all. It's just we don't feel comfortable, because we didn't have that connection or that bond, that what's that word? That cohesiveness. with one another. You know, we didn't have that background with a substitute, for example. So even if we set up Fallon's Storm deck and gave that to another player and said, "Hey, we need you to play a Storm for us," for one, that person, no matter how great they are, they're not going to be able to synchronize with us. I mean, it's just we have this flowing connection between us, kind of like, I want to say metaphorically, like souls entwined in a way. We don't have to say too much over Skype. I mean, the only thing we have to say is what we expect the opponents to do. We don't necessarily have to say, okay, which card should I play? You know, we have that aspect down already, and we kind of have a feel for, okay, this person normally carries these cards, and normally these cards would show up on the first round, or we start to read each other's minds in a way. So so that's plays on the perfect portion of it, a little bit on the catch portion of it. Um, you know, one person can be missing, but our harmony still exists. So even if I'm missing, and and most of the time I am leading the team, I am calling the shots, saying, hey, this team will be doing this, and we need to prepare for this. So you know, if you have these cards, get ready for this. Uh, you know, we need to perform a combo of some sort. I know that even without that without that active leadership, that the other three would be able to carry on their own very, very well as a team. You know, and last but not least, I just want to explore how we basically balance each other out. And by that I mean Cass. She she's basically what keeps our team structured in a way. She makes sure we're doing things on time, that we're not overlapping and being and finding digression within something else. She makes sure that we have our structure basically. You know, sometimes she helps me do the gear checks to make sure everyone has the right pet on and gear. So she helps us keep organized. Fallon, well, let's go over me first, because this will make a lot more sense to describe what Fallon does. She actually balances my part out. My part is more of the logical, the reasoning, the numbers. I analyze a lot on a numerical basis. Whereas Fallon, she would be the emotional logic. She would actually take into consideration other people. She would think about others, for example, and how we reflect upon them, or how they reflect upon us, etc. So she carries that emotional balance. She is a mother. So is Cass. So you know, these ladies are keeping Ronan and I in check. We're actually the ones with the, because Ronan is more about perspective. He's able to see things that I initially wouldn't, because I'm actually more involved on what's going on within the battle, whereas Ronan actually takes a step back and looks at our team from the outside. And then he explains, you know, this is how he feels, and this is where he sees us going, etc. So he's kind of like keeping a check on us, but in a very specific way. You know, it's how are we doing as a team. Whereas Cass and Fallon ensure that we still have our humanity in a way, that that we're not just so focused on PvP, but that we're focused as a team, and that we're interacting as friends and whatnot. So that would be Fallon's role, and then as I explained, Ronan has the perspective role, and he's able to look at things at a different way, and be able to critique actually and judge us from the outside. So yeah, I mean, you know, hopefully that explains what perfect catch is. I mean, it's a really deep meaning. It goes beyond just a symbol or a label for the four of us. We take a lot of pride in the name itself because of how well it relates to what we do and how we feel and what we see. So Sierra Starsong and everyone else that's been waiting for this answer, I hope that's explained and explored as much as you liked it to. And feel free if you have any other questions, or if you want to point something out, leave a comment on my blog or down on the YouTube page. it's been a real honor and pleasure to have you sit through all of this. For giving me the time to basically share what we have. So with that said, definitely let you get back to Wizard, or maybe you could be playing Wizard right now, which is perfect. Maybe it'll inspire you to do some PvP or some team searching of your own, or some team building. Thanks for joining. I will see you guys in the spiral.